You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
This has to be the craziest thing I've ever heard. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, obviously, there's a lot of anticipation surrounding the number one overall pick and what the Chicago Bears will do with the number one overall pick. Greg Gabriel, a scout of over 40 years. Obviously, he once worked for the Chicago Bears, a very popular name on Twitter. A lot of people like to attack Greg Gabriel on Twitter for his takes. Absolutely dropped a massive bombshell in regard to the number one overall pick. But before I go any further with today's video, I want to talk about Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Bears fans, as a podcaster, all my information is always out there on the web. And it's a really uncomfortable feeling knowing that all my information is exposed and for sale like this. Bears fans, I'm talking about data brokers that sell your information to scammers, spammers, or anyone else that may want to target you. But I'm really thankful for Aura because they have really had my back. Bears fans, ever since I started using Aura, they have been able to show me which data brokers have been selling my information, and from there they have automatically been able to submit opt-out requests for me. Cleaning up my information not only helped reduce the amount of spam I get, Bears fans, but it also protected me from hackers that can use my information to access my social media accounts, my bank accounts, and much more. Bears fans, Aura also offers so many different features that includes antivirus, VPN, parental controls, password management, and much more. The best part about all this, Bears fan, is that Aura is really easy to set up, and it's all for one very affordable price. And I get it, Bears fans. You may comment down below on today's episode of Keek on the Mic and say, Keek, you're full of crap. And you may already have one or two of these features already. But not having Aura, Bears fans, is like locking the front door and leaving the back door wide open. Overall, Bears fans, Aura is the best teammate you can ever have. They do all the hard work to keep me safe, so I can focus on continuing to give you guys the best Bears content out there. Personally, Bears fans, I know I love my privacy and I value yours too. You can go to the link on the screen and also linked in the description of today's video to start your 2-week free trial today. Trust me, Bears fans, Aura is the real deal. All right, Bears fans, like I mentioned, Greg Gabriel, a guy that has 40 years of experience, and he's not an NFL insider. He's never been a GM, but he is connected to some guys that are well connected within NFL circles. And he's been talking to a lot of people, and he recently went on the Windy City Breeze podcast, and he talked about a conversation he had with someone that is well connected within NFL organizations. And he dropped a massive bombshell in regard to the number one overall pick. And basically what he insinuated is that the Chicago Bears possibly trading down from the number one overall pick is a real possibility. Obviously, Jordan Schultz also came out the other day on Bleacher Report Live and basically insinuated the same thing, that he wouldn't be surprised if the Chicago Bears once again sold the number one overall pick and traded down and collected major assets to build around their football team. But the thing that Greg Gabriel said a little bit differently than Jordan Schultz, saying that not only would the Chicago Bears trade down from number one overall, but they would also trade Justin Fields in the process to get the max amount of draft capital. Check out what he had to say on the Windy City Breeze, Bears fans.
All day, this time of the year. And, you know, there's a lot of people that want to give me a hard time on Twitter, which is fine. They can take every shot they want. But
your success,
you know, I've been doing this for 40 years. I know what I'm talking about. So
I like that.
And I got connections up the yin yang. I mean, there's a dozen GMs I can pick up the phone and talk to, and a bunch of other guys in decision-making roles. So I got a lot of friends in the league and other people with connections. I was talking to one guy who, I guess, indirectly is involved in the league. He's not an agent. He's not a media guy, but he's very well connected, and I just don't want to say who he is. And generally, he's got excellent information. So in the course of the conversation I had with him, the first one was Monday, and then there was another one the next day. Monday, he says that deal, they're going to trade number one before the combine's out. And it's going to Washington. And no, I can believe that. And he said it's going to be, pretty much the same as Peter King had, that, at least one number two, a flip of the ones, and a one next year. This guy said both of Washington's number twos.
Bears fans, personally, this would be absolutely insane if Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears opted to not only trade down from the number 1 overall pick, which means you would miss out on Caleb Williams, but also in the process, trade quarterback Justin Fields, which means that would leave you with Jaden Daniels, Drake May, or even someone threw around JJ McCarthy for some reason. That would be absolutely insane. Don't get me wrong. You would get a massive amount of draft capital for not only trading away Justin Fields, but obviously trading away the number 1 overall pick. Obviously, if the Washington Commanders desperately want Caleb Williams, they may give you those 2 second-round picks, obviously their 2nd overall pick, and maybe even a next year's first to trade up 1 spot in order to get their guy in Caleb Williams. And obviously, if you trade quarterback Justin Fields, you're probably going to net a 2nd-round pick this year and possibly a 3rd or 4th-round pick next year. That is obviously massive draft capital for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. But my personal opinion, the only way Ryan Poles would ever do this, make this type of insane move, which means not getting Caleb Williams or not keeping Justin Fields, is if Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears feel that Jaden Daniels or Drake May are close to Caleb Williams level at the quarterback position, and they feel like they can also be game changers in the National Football League and like generational talent, much like Caleb Williams is viewed by NFL circles, that is the only way Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears would make this move. Other than that, Greg Gabriel is absolutely nuts for even bringing this up. To me, this is how I view it. If you want to get rid of quarterback Justin Fields, that is fine. At that point, Caleb Williams is my guy. Caleb Williams would be the only option for the Chicago Bears. I believe that Caleb Williams is on a different level compared to guys like Drake May and Jaden Daniels. I'm not saying that Jaden Daniels or Drake May are not good prospects. I just think Caleb Williams is on a different level. So to me, I don't think Ryan Poles would consider this. Maybe he would, possibly, but I just think it would be absolutely insane if after all this debating we have been doing as Bears fans, talking about, Caleb Williams versus Justin, if Ryan Poles pulled a massive shocker in the NFL draft and traded away the number 1 overall pick and traded away Justin Fields to get Drake May or Jaden Daniels, this would be a massive development. And once again, I don't want to call Greg Gabriel a liar because obviously he's been doing it for 40 years, not as an NFL insider or as a GM, but he has connections to guys that do have connections to NFL circles. So I don't want to sit here and call him a liar, but it is a crazy thought to think about. I'm not sure how you guys feel about this, because to me, this would be absolutely nuts to trade away the number 1 overall pick and trade Justin Fields, collect all this massive draft capital for not only this year and next year, just to draft Drake May or Jaden Daniels. When you think about it, it is a very risky move. And to some people, it may be a dumb move for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. But if you look at it from a different angle, you're thinking, okay, you trade down for the number 1 overall pick, right? Of course, you miss out on Caleb Williams. You collect your multiple 2nd-round picks, your multiple 1st-round picks, maybe a 1st-round pick next year, maybe a player for some random reason, right? You trade away Justin Fields, you get a 2nd-round pick this year, and maybe a 3rd and 4th-round pick next year. Then you take Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and there's some people out there that may think that Jaden Daniels or Drake May are on the same level as Caleb Williams. And if Ryan Poles views that as an option, you take Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and you take all that draft capital that you have collected by trading away the number 1 overall pick and Justin Fields, and you build around Drake May or Jaden Daniels. And to me, it may be an actually smart plan, especially when you consider looking at the Chicago Bears roster. You have a top 10 defense. You can fill the rest of the holes on the offensive line. You can add to the defense, right? You can still add a couple of weapons for Drake May or Jaden Daniels. That plan may work. But personally, how I view it, if you want to get rid of quarterback Justin Fields, that's fine. That means Caleb Williams would be my number 1 guy. That is just my personal opinion. You guys can go ahead and comment down below in the comment section and engage with me. Let me know how you feel about what Greg Gabriel had to say on the Windy City Breeze. Do you think this is absolutely nonsense, Or do you think this is something that Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears would actually consider? Let me know down below in the comment section. But all in all, Bears fans, things are going to start to heat up. And at the end of the day, I think it's either going to be we're keeping Justin Fields and trading away the number 1 overall pick, or we're going to keep the number 1 overall pick, and it's going to be Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC, as the new Chicago Bears quarterback. But at the end of the day, we just have to wait and see what Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears actually do. But all in all, Bears fans, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for our all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.